Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's well today. As mentioned before, I'm gonna go ahead and talk to you guys about secret societies and law enforcement. Is it a problem? I do believe it is. Sorry, I'm a little bit under the weather today, so my voice is a little bit different. So you got secret societies in all aspects of America. I mean, you got it in Hollywood, federal government, state government, county government, local government, colleges, Ivy Leagues, and your science and medicine. You got secret societies running all of these things. So, and it's a proven fact. I mean, these are things that you can look up yourself. I can speak on my own behalf. When I was in law enforcement, which little thing that a lot of people don't know, there's a lot of secret societies in law enforcement. A lot of cops are Freemasons. I was a Freemason myself. I pushed it to the side. I no longer run with it. I put God as my #1 priority in life, which I did that before I joined the military as well. That's whenever I was saved by God. But I feel like this is something important to talk about because I feel like it aligns with the thin blue line of secrecy, of silence. The thing that I mentioned in my first video that we're trying to do away with. There doesn't need to be any kind of secrecy amongst the public and law enforcement. There doesn't need to be any kind of secrecy whatsoever at all. Whenever the people that are paying you on an annual basis, paying their taxes, that's how you get paid as an officer. So the entitlement is unreal. There doesn't need to be any kind of secrecy. As mentioned before, if I hire someone to do a job and I feel like something's fucked up and I ask them what they did wrong and their answer is that's confidential, whenever I'm paying you to do the fucking job, then I'm gonna fire his ass, as would anybody else. So me being an officer and me being somebody that's been there, I've been through the rituals, I've been through the stages. Now I didn't make it all the way to 33rd, but I was there. I feel like it's very important for young officers to understand that this is probably not a good idea. Now, if you're somebody that doesn't necessarily care, you're somebody that you're not religious, you don't believe in God whatsoever at all, then it wouldn't be a bad move, I guess. I mean, and that's not my job to say that. It's actually my job to bring as many people to God as I possibly can. As someone that is a servant to Jesus Christ, that is my job to do so. But I do understand some people's minds just aren't going to change. It doesn't make you a bad person. I met plenty of people in this life that still good people, but don't believe in God. I feel like somewhere down the road they do find their way 9 times out of 10. So secret societies, Freemasons specifically, it started in London, started in the 14th century. The Regis poem is the oldest artifact, is the oldest document that they have. Started in London. First Grand Lodge was in London, which that's what they call their temples or lodges. My lodge was a decent sized lodge, you know. And it started with stonemasons. That's the way it started, as a fraternity. And that's the way most of these things start. Where you had to be a stonemason. It was more or less like similar to a union for work. Now they fucked up in the 1600s because they started accepting non-members. When they started doing that, that's whenever, in my opinion, that's whenever the corruption started to set in, and your high and mighties started to get in there, and they started to do their thing. And that was transitioned in 1717 into the United States. The Freemasons moved from, well, you're not 1717 because we weren't quite established as a country yet till 1776. But what the Masons were at that point in 1717, with accepting pretty much anybody and everybody, anybody that's really willing, that's just good at their job, it became more of a fellowship type thing, more of a than work based. So once they started doing that, that's whenever they started bringing in law enforcement at the time, military guys, and then that pretty much took over. The day and age of the just workers, stonemason was out. It was gone. So law enforcement started to come in at that time. So did military. I would say British law enforcement. So 1717 is whenever it created the foundation for the United States. Now, our founding fathers, George Washington was the one that started our presidents, to where it somewhat became similar to royalty, because every president you can link to Freemason secret society ties. All the different secret societies is tied to Freemasonry in one way or another, whether they want to, and that is, whether they want to admit it or not, that's the case. You got all of our founding fathers were part of Freemasonry. You got sheriffs, chiefs, you name it, Hollywood. Everything that we have is rooted through these secret societies. Now that's an issue because money got involved with it. Whenever money got involved with it, that's whenever people started to feel a sense of entitlement to be a part of this secret society and be able to more or less run shit. I knew lots of cops that were Freemasons. The thing about it is it creates a brotherhood within something that's already supposed to be a brother and sisterhood, which, and I say sisterhood as well because the Morning Stars is the female version of the Freemasons. Now, when I went into this, I was blind because I wanted to provide for my family at all costs. I was young, I didn't really know much. Like I said, I was in the military. We ended up having our kid pretty early, my first daughter, and I just tried other things to try to get around by making money. It was before then that I talked to the VA representative, and they're the ones that put me involved with law enforcement. So I did my research and I said, well, what is the best way to be paved out for success in this career field? I wanted it to work out at all costs. I didn't want to be a guy that jumps around jobs. I just wanted to stick to one thing. And by damn, if I'm gonna use my GI Bill and put myself through this damn academy, I want to make sure this works out. So I would talk to sheriff's deputies. I would talk to police officers, you know, around my daily life. Maybe they were out working an extra job, or I'd see them out, and I'd kind of ask questions. I noticed a lot of the older ones, a lot of them were Freemasons, and they wear a ring on their finger. I still got my ring as well. Don't know where it is, but I got it. I don't wear that shit anymore. But I would talk to them, and they would say, yeah, this creates stability in your career field as an officer. Okay, well, shit. What's it all about? Started becoming friends with some of these cops, see them on a daily basis, got their number, and they would tell me a little bit more about it. And I mean, everything that I heard was, it was all Christian based. Like, it was, you know, believe in God, believe in a God, which in my mind I said, oh, okay, well, I live in America, so it's freedom of religion. That's what was going through my mind. I didn't know much about it. I just, like I said, the whole reason that I joined was for the money aspect. I wanted to make sure that my money was right. I was able to take care of my family on a daily basis. I was already a good cop. So whenever I went through the academy, that's whenever I decided to go ahead and join up. I found out throughout the years in the past that my grandpa was also a Freemason, which it skips generations in my family. Which is the way, how it was portrayed to me is that means that you have royalty in your bloodline for you to be able to be a part of it. And if it's something that's actual in the bloodline, generational, they call it generational wealth. My grandpa was probably the most God-fearing man that I've ever known in my life. Literally took a Bible everywhere that he would go with him. Didn't cuss, didn't drink. It's greatest guy I've ever known. So I said, well, shit. I mean, that was it for me. If grandpa was a fucking Freemason, I'm getting in on it. So I went in there, you know, I brought my proof that he was one, which I didn't know until he passed away, so I wasn't able to ask him about it. I never understood why he never talked about it. I never knew why that wasn't something that he wasn't proud of, or that he didn't discuss with the family. He never mentioned it. Like I said, I didn't know until he passed away. I saw a lot of like belt buckles and, you know, little logos that, you know, when I was a stupid kid, you would do your research online about conspiracy theories and Illuminati and, you know, all that shit. So I saw that and I said, what the fuck? Grandpa is a Freemason. That's crazy. And I got involved with it. Well, come to find out, you know, I talked to my grandma about it, and she said that the reason that he got out and wasn't affiliated with it whatsoever at all was because there was some kind of oath ritual that he had to sign off on that said that he would be willing to sacrifice a member of his family. Now, I didn't know that. I'm not confirming this. This is just what was told to me. So, do I doubt it? No, don't doubt it at all. So, I'd already got involved. They already put me in. I was an apprentice at this point. So it was like, well, we're fucking here. There's no getting out now. Let's just ride it out. So whenever I was in, after apprentice, which it was a couple years later at this point, you get another ritual of being in you get more into the real deal, the real deal. And I'm gonna word this a certain way. I mean, it would be odd, right? If somebody said that they went to a Freemason ritual that was supposed to rank them up, and they end up seeing some things there that were questionable. You know, say they heard or saw that there was some possible gay sex going on. If somebody said this, if somebody said that they brought us some random unknown meat, served it up on a plate, looked really good, somebody would say that it looked really good, and then brings a goat skull with blood in it for you to drink from. Now that would be strange. Wouldn't that be strange for somebody to say something like that? Odd, right? For that to be the ritual. But you trying to just do what you can for your family, you know, depending on how much you care about your family and how blinded you are, somebody, if that happened, somebody would probably drink from the cup, I would say. Now, if I was there in this scenario where that didn't happen, but I'm just saying, entertainment, and I see a bunch of, and I say there was a bunch of guys there that without clothes on. There was a lot of people, but it's about 80% dudes, no clothes on, masks. You hear a bunch of moaning and screaming going on in the other room. And if somebody were to ask me, hey, do you want to partake in this? Now, my answers would definitely be, fuck no. I'd probably tell whatever lieutenant, sergeant, captain, chief, sheriff that asked me that, fuck no. I definitely would tell them that. And if they ask me why, my answer would be because, one, I'm married. Two, I'm not fucking gay. So I would draw the line there. And then, you know, they could possibly say something like, well, you don't have to partake if you don't want to, which I wouldn't. But I would have some real serious questions about what the fuck it is that I got myself into. And then whenever you get out on the street, and this is just information, you know, this is just some things that I've heard word of mouth from some people. But you get out on the street as a police officer and you start seeing things that you don't really like too much. You start noticing that there's officers doing shit that they're not supposed to do. And it's 9 times out of 10, it's those officers that always wear the thin blue line shit. It always is. It's always the fucking weirdos. It never fails. The ones that a lot of people do not get along with. Those are your bad apples. It's the fucking weirdos every time. But they're Freemasons. You talk to them, you know, they always say they're Freemasons, always. And they always got the ring on. So you start seeing them do shit that they're not supposed to be doing. You start seeing some questionable activity in law enforcement, I would say. A lot of the things that I stand against that y'all already know about. You start seeing that, but you start seeing that it's Freemasonry. Nobody's saying anything about it. It gets swept under the rug. But you see somebody that's not a Freemason just make a mistake. That has nothing to do with that, and they throw the fucking book at them. Might even end up in jail. But you got other guys that are intentionally doing it, and it's just fine. Even seen them go to court with the judge that is said to have been a Freemason as well, part of a secret society, and nothing happens to that officer. Give a little hand gesture, and they're free to go. I've seen it. Well, I haven't seen it, but it was, it was something that was, I've seen a person tell me that, is what I mean. I've seen a person tell me that. That's how we're gonna word this, okay? So, and I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all already knew the shit like this, but y'all thought it was just like a cop fraternity. Like, all cops got it like that, which is why I'm shining some light onto this, on what it really is. Because, again, this podcast is all about transparency between the public and law enforcement. So if you know the secrets, and you know that it's not a cop fraternity, it's not just cops, and that it's these secret societies, look for that ring whenever you get pulled over. When you get pulled over, look and see what that ring looks like. Look at that, and then the next time you get pulled over, hopefully you don't get pulled over all the time, but then the next time you get pulled over, see if they don't have a ring. Or just around your daily walks of life, cop on his break, cop working an extra job on his day off. Compare talking to one that has that ring versus one that doesn't, and I guarantee you'll see a huge difference. I defied the odds, but look where I'm at. I was an outcast because of some of the shit that I did, but I gave a voice to those officers that had no voice. Those officers that felt like the world was bogged down on them because they weren't part of the club. I created a club, and we stood against it, and we conquered it legally in court. My point behind this is there's more of us than there is them. There's more regular people than there is these things that are in these secret societies. And the thing that they don't want you to know is that they don't want you to know that they're outnumbered. And that not only are they outnumbered in departments, they're outnumbered in all of these realms that they run. That's why they lead by deception, just like the devil. Deception is their number one tool. As long as they got you believing whatever it is that they're showing you, feeling the way it is that you feel, that it's unfair and that everything's stacked against you, then you'll just fall in line. I've never been one to do that. And neither should you. Now, does there need to be a system? Yeah, there does need to be a system, but it needs to be the way that it's portrayed to be. There does need to be a set of laws. The point of this is not to create anarchists. The point of this is to do away with secret societies. The point of this is to do away with the thin blue line of silence. Because if you get rid of that, you have full transparency. The issue that I had with these agencies is, or with not with these agencies, with these societies is, and this is how I know that it's not It's not God that has anything to do with these things. Regardless what they tell you, they'll always try to tell you that God is in it, but he's not. You know how I know? Because you do have to believe in something. You do have to have some kind of religion before you get involved with this. But it doesn't matter what it is. You could be a Muslim, you could be a Buddhist, you could be a whatever. You could be a Satanist, probably. Doesn't matter what you are. And they'll still take you. But they want you to believe in something. You can't believe in nothing. And what someone told me whenever I first ventured into Freemasonry is, you gotta believe in a higher power before you become a higher power. Now, if you read the Bible, a lot of what you'll read is demons and evil gets a kick out of stealing a soul from God. So if they can have you believe, which means you at one point were saved. I don't know anything about the Muslim religion. I don't know anything about it. I don't know if you can get saved in that or not, but I can speak on behalf of being a servant to Jesus Christ. Is if you can believe, then that means you were saved at one point. That empowers evil to believe that you were in God's hands and they snatched you away from him. That gives them more power. So I think that has something to do with it, and that's my opinion. I mean, these are things that's never going to get told. I was never that high up. I was never a 33rd. I was never any of that. I was on the low tier. I was restricted on some of the information that I was given. I wasn't given the full thing, but to me, and I have spoken to 33rds that walked away from it as well, is you don't want to know the truth behind that curtain. Because what it is that you think you're going to find, you think you're going to find answers to God, you think you're going to find answers to spiritual things, and you're not going to find answers to any of it. What you're going to find behind that curtain is that evil is what's ruling it. You're not going to be happy with it. And if you're somebody that's gotten involved with it, like myself, when you start to buck and you start to go against the grain, and whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's law enforcement, you're a doctor, college, fraternity, whatever it is, once they got you and they start to notice that you're starting to peep things, you're starting to notice that maybe this isn't so wholesome, what it is that you're a part of, they'll try to beat you down in your mind, because they'll start telling you things like, oh, well, you've already given us what we want. They'll try to make you believe that you've already given them your soul and that there's no way back. That's false. You can be saved at any given point in time. There's people that have unalived people that God still saved, and that's in the Bible. There is no sin other than unaliving yourself that you can't walk back from. And the only reason that you can't walk back from that is because you no longer have free will, because you're not here. So to you young bucks out there that are in the academy, and I know it's running through your mind, I don't recommend it. Anything that they can offer is all temporary. It's all of this earth and it's temporary. Anything that they can offer you is false. If you want wholesome knowledge, you want real knowledge, you want to get close to your Creator, you want to be blessed, you should never question God. You should just go to God. You should get saved. And God will walk you through that journey in law enforcement. He'll guide you through it. He'll be your guiding light. He'll make sure that your family's fed. He'll make sure that everything that you need to get paid gets paid, and everything's all right. And you'll have peace in mind while you're doing it. You don't have that when you give your soul to a Freemason, to a secret society. Excuse me. Because it's of this earth. And the longer that you're involved with it, the one thing you'll realize is there can't be both. You can either go with this or you can go with that. You can either have God or you can have your society. You can't have both though. At first you can, because you're not fully theirs. But your expectations later on are going to show you that you can't have both. You got to choose. And I'm telling you right now, I'm here for knowledge. I'm here to give you what you want. I can play devil's advocate all day, but I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that even if you don't believe in God, that that's something that is still good for you. I mean, I look at it differently, because in my mind, if you don't believe in God and you never believe in God throughout the rest of your life, you're not going to heaven anyways. If you never gave your soul to Jesus, you're not going anyways. So yeah, I guess, I mean, if you've already given up, I mean, I've never been one to quit. I've never been a quitter, so I don't know. I guess if you're fully never going to give your life to Jesus, then yeah, this is all you got. What's on this earth? Your time on this earth is all you got. You don't have eternity. Once it's over, it's done. So if that's what it is for you and you just want to live the best life while you're here, then sure, Freemasonry or whatever secret society you decide to join, I mean, that's have at it. But I'm saying, if you're somebody that tends to buck, you're somebody that likes to say when something's right and wrong, you're an officer that can establish dark and light, and you're actually getting into this to make a difference for your community, which law enforcement has a place for you. It definitely does, if that's who you are. Secret society's not going to be your best path, because they feel that you owe it to them to pretty much allow them to do whatever they want. So you got a decision to make. I tried to do both. I'm telling you, it don't fucking work. Make no mistake, it don't work. You try to get involved with both, you're gonna get fucked. And you're gonna sign yourself up for a long-lasting battle that the odds of you winning are slim to none. I came out on top, but like I said, after all my legal shit, I got out. You got to count your blessings, know when to hold them, know when to walk away. I'm just saying. Now, if it was, I mean, I'm still young at this point. I'm in my 30s. I could, you know, I could still technically be a cop. I'm in good shape. I work out every day. Stay in the gym. But as mentioned before, I want to make change in law enforcement. I don't want less cops. It's like I said, it's not what we're trying to do here. I've got no vendetta against cops. I do have a problem against corrupt cops. I do got a problem with cops that believe that they're above everybody else and that they don't got to follow the same standards as everybody else, or they can just have whatever they want because they're a cop. I got a huge problem with that. It's our job to police ourselves as well. I can do more with this screen than I can with a badge, with the kind of change that I'm trying to make. But yes, you do have a lot of people that are in higher chains of command that run a lot of this shit. They do. It needs to be dealt. Oh, it needs to be done with. It does. And if I can stress it to the younger group that's coming in, that's gonna one day replace these guys that made that decision and stuck with it and no longer have souls, then I can create change. And I can start to knock down those blocks of the thin blue line of silence. If you really pay attention, the things that these people do and get away with a lot of times, or get a little slap on the wrist, the laws against it are small. I mean, they're slim to none. That's why you got all these PDFs out here that are out here, you know, touching kids. That is said one thing that these secret societies do. I've never witnessed that, but there's a lot that are in the higher threshold that it said that they do that. It said that the Epstein guys, that they were doing that on Epstein Island. It's part of the rituals. So if you can do away with it, even on a local and county level, then you can reach the state levels, and you can reach the federal levels, and eventually have it all done with. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make as much change as I can to make the world a better place. I don't recommend it for you younger cats, though. I don't recommend getting involved with Freemasonry. God, your family, and looking after your community should be your drives to wanting to do this. And if you can't, then this ain't for you. It's a land of wolves. So, I mean, you got to think about what you want. You got to understand there's not a fast way to attain it. And signing your soul and your life away to this lodge and this society is not the way to go. Don't do it. Because there's no going back once you make the decision to do that. Well, there is, but it's, I mean, you kiss your law enforcement career goodbye. Because you're going to be fighting an uphill battle for the rest of your career. You pretty much designate yourself as somebody that's not going to do shit whenever you see your fellow officers doing wrong. That's pretty much what you sign yourself up for. It's not wholesome. It's not. I don't give a fuck what anybody tells you. It's not what you think it is. You got to stay alert, and you got to look for deceptions, because it's always going to come your way. Because these societies is evil that's been around since the beginning of time, more than likely. It's just been documented since 1717. They got 3 degrees. They got apprentice, fellow craft, master mason. That's what they got. Master mason's at 33rd level. 33rd. It's the highest level you can go. They don't even refer to God as God. They call him the architect of the universe. What kind of shit is that? It's not God. But I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that these societies aren't in your upper thresholds. And for you just regular citizens out there, you need to understand that these few guys out here, these few officers that are a part of this, they're the problem. Because they're either, one, they're the guy that's violating, the 9 times out of 10. They're the one that's violating people's rights, doing shit they're not supposed to do as cops. Or they're the ones instructing cops that don't want to lose their job because they got families, mouths to feed. They're instructing them on what to do. So let's see this as a big problem, because it is, and let's alleviate it. Like I said, look out for the ring, look out for the gestures. This is me making y'all aware to this, so that the next time there's an uprising, we're not just looking at it as it's all cops, because it's not all cops. There's a lot of good cops out there. There's more good ones than there are bad ones. It's like every other industry that these societies run. There's more regular people than these weirdos that just want to be control freaks. There's more normal people out here that just want to do our job, enjoy our job. In law enforcement, you enjoy taking care of people. And you want to go home at the end of the day and spend the rest of the day with your family. See your kids, go to their sporting events, whatever it is that they got going. There's more people that want to live a life like that and feel satisfied and fulfilled than there are these weirdos that just want to control everything. And they just want to make things the way that they want to make them, or whoever their overlord is that's telling them what to do. There's more of us regular people than there are them. The uprising is not amongst to go against law enforcement. The uprising needs to go against these secret societies out here that are telling these individuals what to do. That's what we need to draw awareness to, and that's what they don't want you to. That's what they don't want you to do. That's what they fear the most. Because whenever people grasp this knowledge that I'm telling you, and they go against the actual problem, you'll find that that problem is really easy to handle, because there's not enough of them. And that's a hole that they put themselves in, because they want themselves to, they don't want there to be a lot. They want there to be a few of them because they want to run shit. So we got to sniff out the true problems here, and let's not take it out on entire organizations and wholesome good things in this world, like law enforcement, like science, like really any of it. I mean, we can go down the list. We can go down the list of things that these societies run. federal government, state, politicians. There's good politicians out there that aren't taking corrupt money from God knows where. I'm not gonna go in on all that because that's caused some legal problems. Instead of saying all politicians are bad, all cops are bad, all colleges are bad, let's not do that. And the thing that guides y'all on that leash is politics. Right or left, Republican, Democrat. But whenever you really dig to the bottom, you realize there's Democrat politicians that you vote for that are in the same lodges as Republican politicians. Like I said, every president is a Freemason. I can't confirm if they're all related or not. I can't confirm that. But I can say that they are part of the same societies. And if you want some proof of that, you would have thought that George W. Bush couldn't stand. You would have thought he hated Obama for years. Pretty much the entire time Obama was in there, you would have thought that George Bush couldn't fucking stand his ass. What happened as soon as Obama got out of the White House? They were playing golf together. They're buddies. There's even theories out there that say that George W. Bush's family used to watch Barack Obama when he was a kid. That didn't come out till he was out of the White House. So you got to lose this fucked up mentality that says that it's all about Republicans and Democrats. And once you get through that, that's whenever you realize that it's these individuals. That's when you're able to see them for what they are. But you can even look at sports events, because that's what trains us. That's what establishes us to be in the mindset of Republican and Democrat. Like they're rivals. Like it's a rival. Football does that. Baseball does that. It's like the Yankees versus the Red Sox. You know? Or the Texans versus the Cowboys. Oh, I hate that team. I hate it. That's why they have them. Because they get you in a sports mentality. That's why a lot of your more wise people out there, they don't really watch sports. As I'm wearing an Astros jersey. I still know what it is, though. Because I've been instilled of knowledge. I've been equipped with this. I asked the right questions, and I was also given knowledge. Even knowledge that I'm not supposed to be telling y'all right now. I'm not supposed to be telling y'all any of this shit. Which, by the way, I love myself. I love my family. I love my children. I love my wife. I have no kind of mindset that wants to harm them or myself. So if something happens to me, just know. But like I said earlier, this isn't, I feel like that this, with everything that's been going on the last 6 years, this isn't anything that y'all didn't already know. This is just confirmation of things that y'all already knew. I mean, shit, they created a terrible virus in the lab and then released it. And then locked everything down. So that they could do whatever weird shit it is that they were doing and continue to move in the shadows. So, I mean, anybody that doesn't agree with what I'm saying, it's all out there for you. Just open your fucking eyes and you'll see it. This is all for entertainment purposes, guys. These are not true events. This is all entertainment purposes. And I do not want to harm myself or my family. So, like I said, I wanted to wake y'all up to understand that what you thought is true for a lot of y'all. And for the ones that have been asleep, here's a red pill for you. Take that shit. Stop blaming it on law enforcement. It's not fully law enforcement that's the problem. It's these societies that are running it. It's these people that are part of these societies that are contributing money into this, that are filling it all with money. It's all greed. It's all greed based. That's the problem. And you should know, I mean, anything that doesn't involve God is corruptible. Anything. Why do you think it is that the further our country moves away from God, the more fucked up shit you see on a daily basis? At one point in time, we were close to God. We had values that catered to Jesus Christ and God. You don't have that anymore. Not as much. Not even close. And look at all the fucked up shit going on. But we're making the world a better place. That's the goal of this podcast. We're going to get this going. I'm going to get y'all right. Reading into the facts. But y'all, for sure, I mean, these are things that you got to know. I want y'all to be smart ones. I want y'all to be able to say, nah, I watched St. Michael. He put me on game with this. I watched the St. Michael podcast. I know he'd already mentioned this. He mentioned the societies that run things. They're the ones in charge. But they're not in charge. They're only in charge by deception, by y'all being asleep and not understanding who's in charge. They're not in charge. Because as soon as the shit that they do comes out, they get shut the fuck down. That's why every time the Epstein file shit comes out, something big happens. Because it rocks their ass like a fucking punch from Mike Tyson. Every time they start discussing that list, they get fucking rocked. Every time. What happened when it first came out? 2019, what'd we get? COVID. Lock them the fuck down. Shut them the fuck up. What happened this time? Oh shit, we came out with half the documents, but they were all redacted. This discloses these societies, folks. It's not as broad and confusing as it looks. In reality, it's pretty fucking simple. And it's all from the same fucking tree. It's all the same shit. There's not very many of them. There's more of us than there is them. That's the point that I'm trying to get across. Knowledge. They brought out half the documents this time, supposedly half of the documents. Redacted names. Fuck, there's more names of victims in there than there is the fucking guys that were doing it. But it's close, and if you push hard enough, because there's more of us than there is them, that shit gets released. More of it gets released the harder you push. The more of us that push. That's why they came out with a fucking war this time. Shut them the fuck up. Oh, they know about the names. Oh shit, they're doing their research. They're all looking at, man, they're focusing in on it. This is going to disclose who we really are. This is going to disclose secrets. We can't disclose those secrets, folks. All darkness comes to light. But you got to push for that light. Don't worry about this fucking war out here. Worry about what they're doing. Watch them. Because they're the ones that are in these documents. Watch them. They're the ones that decided we needed to go to war. Watch them. Read the documents. Like I said, we got to police ourselves out here. Not just in our country, not just in our state, not just in our city, globally. Because if we don't do it, nobody's going to do it. Nobody's going to save y'all, folks. Nobody. You got to save yourself. Because as long as y'all think that nothing can, oh, well, that's just them. That's just what they do. They've been doing it. It can come to y'all. And that's all this as a whole. I'm bringing it all together here, folks. Don't think that I'm getting off topic, because I'm not. It is the same societies doing this shit over here that I'm talking about in law enforcement, local shit, are the same societies doing this shit over here too. They're all secret societies. That's what they are. That's why all of this shit is trying to be kept secret. Instead of focusing on that war, focus on this. You want that war to come to an end? Bring justice. Bring justice for those documents, them files. Guarantee you that war will be over like that. You'll make God happy, and you'll probably even give us more time on this earth. Because right now, God is pissed. Because nobody wants to look at what matters. Because people want to turn a blind eye. We got to expose these societies, folks. And that's all I got for y'all today. But like I said, sorry I didn't come out with it yesterday. I was feeling under the weather. I was pretty sick, so I feel a little bit better today. But again, I mean, I got getting the studio set up at the house, fixing to have that going, so I'm not sitting in my damn truck every time I do this with y'all. I bet y'all are getting tired of seeing my truck by now. But it's all in the makings. It's in the works. It's coming soon. But remember, all darkness gets brought to the light. That's the lesson for today. All darkness gets brought to the light. And to my young cadets out there, either considering law enforcement or in the academy, stay the fuck away from the Freemasons. Stay the fuck away from the secret societies. Get involved with it. Get close to God. God will guide you. You are the shepherd to his sheep. As a police officer, you are a shepherd to his sheep. Stay away from the secret societies. Get in there and do the damn thing. Only one that needs to be guiding a shepherd is God. Only one that needs to be guiding a shepherd is Jesus Christ. Just look at Moses. Be the shepherd. Police officers need to be the shepherd. But anyways, God bless y'all. I hope y'all have a blessed weekend. And go Astros, or whoever your team is.